Welcome to Spill the Tea, where we steep the facts, stir the controversy, and pour out the truth behind everything you thought you knew. Let's start with a new journey into the tea world. It's a calm morning. You boil the water. You pick your favorite tea. You sip. Slowly, quietly. It feels like wellness. But inside your body, something else is happening. That peaceful morning brew may actually be doing the exact opposite of what you intended, especially if you drink it on an empty stomach. You've been told tea is healthy, and it can be in the right context. But when consumed without food, tea, yes, even green tea, can lead to digestive issues, nausea, stomach lining irritation, iron deficiency, blood sugar imbalance, hormonal disruption, and even long-term metabolic stress. Most people never question it, because tea is gentle, right? Not always. In this video, we'll break down the real science behind what happens when you drink tea on an empty stomach, and why this innocent habit could be silently sabotaging your gut, your energy, and your health. We'll talk tannins, acidity, gut-brain response, cortisol, and we'll give you smarter ways to use tea without harming your body. Let's spill the truth. We associate tea with calm. It's soft, natural, herbal, medicinal. It's not harsh like coffee, right? But that belief can be misleading. Just because tea feels gentle doesn't mean your gut agrees. Tea contains powerful plant compounds. Yes, they have benefits, but those same compounds can irritate, block, and disrupt key systems when your stomach is empty. Let's start with tannins. Tannins are natural astringents found in many teas, especially black, green, and oolong. They're responsible for that dry, slightly bitter aftertaste. In small amounts, tannins are antioxidants, but on an empty stomach, they bind with proteins and minerals, especially iron. They also increase stomach acid and slow down digestion. The result, you may feel nausea, stomach tightness, lightheadedness, even anxiety. Many people confuse this with caffeine effects, but it's often the tannins triggering a gut shock response. And if this happens daily, long-term, we're talking nutrient absorption problems, chronic gut irritation, and a stressed nervous system, all from a cup you thought was helping. Here's the deal. Your stomach isn't just a container. It's an intelligent organ that prepares for digestion based on what you consume and when. When you wake up, your stomach acid is low. Your gut lining is in a vulnerable state. Drinking plain water? Fine. Eating whole food? Even better. But drinking tea, with tannins, caffeine, and acidity, is like tossing sharp leaves into an empty pit. Let's break it down. Stomach lining irritation. Tea increases acid secretion. Without food to buffer it, this acid can irritate the stomach lining, especially in people with gastritis, ulcers, or acid reflux. Nausea and bloating. Caffeine and tannins stimulate gastric juices. But without any real food to digest, this creates gas, cramping, and a queasy feeling. Cortisol confusion. Caffeine on an empty stomach spikes cortisol, the stress hormone. Instead of starting your day in calm clarity, you're chemically triggering fight or flight. This not only affects your mood, it affects metabolism, insulin, and fat storage throughout the day. Blood sugar spikes, yes, even without sugar. When cortisol rises, so does glucose. That means drinking strong tea on an empty stomach can elevate blood sugar, even without calories. And elevated blood sugar. It leads to energy crashes, cravings, fat storage, and inflammation. So your gentle tea might be mimicking a stress attack. Let's talk about a hidden issue that most daily tea drinkers have no idea about. Iron. Iron is essential for oxygen delivery, energy, brain function, hormonal balance, immune health. And tea, especially black and green tea, can seriously interfere with iron absorption. Why? Because tannins bind to non-heme iron, the type of iron found in plant-based foods, supplements, and even multivitamins. When you drink tea on an empty stomach and then eat plant-based foods later, those tannins are still working in your system, blocking iron uptake. The consequences: fatigue, hair loss, brain fog, cold hands and feet, poor workout recovery, weakened immunity. If you're vegan, vegetarian, menstruating, or already low in iron, this matters even more. And worst of all, iron deficiency often goes unnoticed until it's severe. Tea can be part of a healthy lifestyle, but not when it's undermining your body's ability to absorb critical minerals. The fix: never drink tea within 1 hour of meals or iron-rich supplements. Right arrow: add lemon, vitamin C, to help offset tannin effects. And avoid tea first thing in the morning, when your stomach is empty and your absorption is most vulnerable. You drink tea and your stomach feels weird, tight, gassy, queasy, lightheaded. Maybe you ignore it. Maybe you think it's detoxing you. But here's the truth: that feeling isn't wellness. It's a warning. Tea-induced nausea is a stress signal from your digestive system. It means the tea was too acidic, too caffeinated, or too rich in tannins for the state of your gut at that moment. This happens most often with green tea, black tea, oolong, matcha, especially low-quality, flavored teas with added essential oils or spices. On an empty stomach, these teas stimulate too much gastric activity without anything to digest. It's like revving an engine with no fuel. Eventually, something burns out. And if you keep doing it day after day, the gut inflammation builds quietly. This can lead to a leaky gut, food sensitivities, indigestion, gas and bloating, poor nutrient uptake, chronic fatigue. Your body's trying to help you. Nausea isn't a flaw, it's feedback. Listen, you think drinking tea without food is great for weight loss. Less calories equals more fat burning, right? Not exactly. Because when you drink tea, especially caffeinated tea, on an empty stomach, you trigger a stress cascade. Caffeine raises cortisol. Cortisol raises blood sugar. Blood sugar spikes lead to insulin release. Right arrow: insulin tells your body to store fat. When blood sugar crashes, you crave carbs later. So instead of fasting cleanly, your body's now riding a hormonal roller coaster. And guess what? You may overeat later because your body's trying to stabilize what that tea threw off. This is especially true with matcha, Earl Grey, black tea blends, green tea extract. This is what we call the blood sugar backfire. And for women especially, whose bodies are more sensitive to cortisol and glucose fluctuations, this can lead to hormonal chaos, mood swings, and sleep issues. Tea is not a replacement for food, and it's not a shortcut to fat loss. Let's go deeper into the gut biome. Your gut bacteria don't just digest food, they control immune function, mental health, hormones, and inflammation. And what you drink on an empty stomach affects them. Here's what happens when tea meets an empty gut. Tannins and polyphenols disrupt balance. While tea polyphenols are beneficial in moderation, high doses, especially without food, can disrupt bacterial diversity and kill off sensitive strains. Caffeine depletes mucosal barrier. Caffeine can thin the gut lining over time, especially when it hits an unbuffered, empty stomach. This increases your risk of leaky gut, which leads to inflammation, allergies, and autoimmune symptoms. Herbal teas aren't always safe either. Peppermint, ginger, and licorice tea stimulate digestion, which is great with meals, but overstimulating alone. Licorice, in particular, can raise cortisol and blood pressure if taken in isolation. If you already have IBS, reflux, ulcers, autoimmunity, fatigue, then tea on an empty stomach may be quietly fueling the problem. Don't assume herbal equals harmless. Context is everything. Now that we've spilled the truth, let's get smarter. You don't have to quit tea, you just need to respect it. Drink tea after meals, not before, especially if it's caffeinated or high in tannins. Pair tea with protein or fat. So boiled egg, avocado, or nuts can protect your stomach lining. Avoid tea first thing in the morning. Start with warm water and minerals, like lemon and salt. Choose gentle teas if fasting. Right arrow rooibos, chamomile, lemon balm, or mint are softer on the gut. Don't mix tea with iron-rich plant foods. Wait 1-2 hours between tea and leafy greens, beans, or iron supplements. Listen to your body. If tea makes you feel queasy, anxious, or cold, your body is saying not now. Tea is powerful. Use it wisely. Let's be honest. Will 1 cup of tea on an empty stomach ruin your health? No. But if it becomes your daily habit, if your gut is already stressed, if your hormones are already off, if you're nutrient deficient, sleep deprived, or living on caffeine, then yes, that peaceful cup could be harming more than helping. If you want stable energy, better digestion, hormonal harmony, stronger immunity, clear skin and sharp focus, then timing your tea matters. Your body thrives on rhythm. And when you give it the right input at the right time, it works with you, not against you. So should you ever drink tea on an empty stomach? Maybe, but know the risk and choose smarter. This has been Spill the Tea, where ancient habits meet modern science. Now you know the truth behind that innocent cup of tea, and why sipping it on an empty stomach might not be as harmless as it seems. If you've ever felt nauseous after tea, or struggled with unexplained fatigue, cravings, or gut issues, this might be your missing link. Let us know in the comments. Do you drink tea first thing in the morning? Have you ever noticed weird side effects? If this video helped, hit that like button, subscribe for more wellness deep dives, and share it with someone who deserves to know what's really in their cup. And remember, not all tea is served hot, but here it's always served real. See you in the next cup.